This is Prepared to Qualify, and I'm Troy. Thanks for watching. Well, the final race is over. The off-season has begun. And you know, normally in the past 20 to 25 IndyCar seasons, at this point, I would be ready to just not even think about IndyCar racing or the Indy 500 for a few months. Let the holidays roll around and then start getting excited about it early in the next year. But this is a different year because this year there is momentum like I've never seen before. I mean, the final race of the year in Nashville was a great race. The crowd was okay. It wasn't great, but I mean, there were a lot of people there. And thanks to the people that came out, thanks to the people that traveled to Nashville. I mean, what a great place to go for the last race. I would definitely go there, and maybe I will next year. But I thought the entire event was good. The ratings were strong, over 1.1 million viewers on Fox, and that was more than double last year's race. So, I mean, what great momentum does the IndyCar Series have going into the off-season for once? So, you know, this isn't the time to play it, you know, the same as we have the last 20-something years and just go on vacation, you know, put the schedule out and then sit here and wait until the races are a couple weeks away next year and then start going, oh, wow, we need to start promoting this. We need to start getting fans there. We need to start putting things out. Now is the time to do that, right now. And I am ready to help. And I know a lot of fans feel the same way. So I appreciate you coming along on this journey to try and grow our favorite sport. There's no sport like it. The more racing that I watch, the other series, the more I appreciate what we have in IndyCar, even though I do enjoy Formula One and NASCAR, and being in that I live in the Austin area, I do get to go and attend those races each year. So I think I have a really unique perspective. I mean, what other person that loves IndyCar as much as me gets to actually go and watch live Formula One and NASCAR events in their own town? And then, you know, look at how those races are promoted and see the things that worked and the things that didn't work, and then try to implement those things in IndyCar, or at least put the word out and get the people that can make those decisions implement the kind of marketing tactics and changes that we need to grow the sport. I mean, I'm not sure if we'll ever be to where NASCAR and Formula One are as far as ratings and fan merchandise sales and all that, but you know, we can get close. And if there's ever going to be a year to do it, I mean, this is the year, because you know, even as well as NASCAR has done, you know, their ratings the last couple of weeks on NBC and USA Network are down. I still don't understand why NASCAR won't allow NBC to stream the races on Peacock. I mean, I know I would appreciate that, because a lot of times on Sunday afternoons I have things going on at church and things like that. But you know, they decided to make sure that all the races were on a network, and you have no idea what network that's going to be. I mean, from the beginning of the year, when I first, you know, luckily the Circuit of the Americas NASCAR race is usually in March, so I get to see NASCAR right out of the gate. And this year there was a lot of momentum, and you know, I was really interested in it. But you know, as the season goes on, especially now that football season is starting, you know, interest is just going to go down. And you know, having a playoff system as complicated as what NASCAR has is just, to me, it really doesn't do any good. It doesn't really bring any extra eyes to the sport. In fact, it gets a lot of people just to, you know, become tired of the whole thing and just worry about the individual races. And you know, as race car fans, as motorsports fans, that's what we care about anyways. We don't care about a playoff system that, you know, is so hard to figure out that you have to go and read the rule book every week to figure out where your favorite driver stands. I mean, I don't understand it, and I really don't want to understand it, but I do love the individual races, and I love being a Team Penske fan. Being a Team Penske fan in NASCAR is like the greatest thing ever. You know, put on your Team Penske gear and go to a NASCAR race and see how many people walk up to you and say either they love Team Penske or they hate Team Penske. There's no middle ground there. I mean, you will you will generate conversation if you go to a NASCAR race and you wear your Team Penske gear, because there aren't that many Team Penske fans in NASCAR like there are obviously in IndyCar. I mean, Team Penske, helped build the IndyCar series. So, we have a lot of fans in IndyCar that are Team Penske fans, but NASCAR, there's just a lot of other opportunities out there. So, wear your Team Penske gear to a NASCAR race, see what kind of fans come up to you, and then ask them questions, and then also invite them to come to an IndyCar race next year. I mean, that's what I usually do, and I definitely have had some success doing that. So, I think, closing out the season in Nashville is a good idea. I don't see that there's any reason to change that. I mean, it would be kind of nice maybe if the race was in the streets of Nashville like it was at one time, but I love watching the ovals. I mean, gosh, give me an oval like that every weekend.
Josef Newgarden leads. The gap over Alex Palou is minuscule. Simpson defends from McLaughlin, but Josef Newgarden will awaken from what has been a nightmare year to the most beautiful dream. It will be a win at home in Nashville for Josef Newgarden. And I believe McLaughlin got Simpson at the line.
Another win, that's 11 years in a row. So it was a race one.
But a win at home in Nashville, and he is doing what he so desperately wanted to do in Indianapolis. He will celebrate not just with any crowd, but with his crowd.
I mean, you can't get much better than the Milwaukee race and the Gateway race this year, and then Nashville. I mean, some of the intermediate tracks were just perfect drama and perfect racing for our series. So, a great way to end the season. Yes, it came a little early, but football season's starting anyway, so I mean, you're not going to win with that. I think the fact that our champion, the way we crown our champion race by race and on a point system, is just the way that it needs to be. I don't think that there needs to be any kind of playoff system or anything like that. This is not a team sport like football or basketball or baseball where, you're rooting for your team, but you're also rooting for your town and your area and the state that you live in, or whatever you're passionate about. Your geographic area of the world is what team sports is about, and what the playoffs are about. It's not about an individual race team with a few drivers and 8 to 10 crew members, per team. It's not about that. So, I like the way that we have it in the IndyCar series, and I just want to keep it the way it is. I think eventually NASCAR will probably have to go back to a point system, and I will be happy with that. I enjoy NASCAR and want to say anything bad about it. I like it. It's especially on a road course. If you ever want to see a crazy race, like I said, come to the Circuit of the Americas race with 40 stock cars going around that track, bumping and shoving each other off the road and whatever. But yeah, it was a good season. Congratulations to Josef Newgarden. Penske won 2 out of the last 3 races, so there's definitely some momentum going there, and it's good to see that. The series isn't as good when Team Penske is not as good. So I'm happy for Josef Newgarden. Definitely happy for Alex Palou. What an unbelievable season that we got to witness. If you weren't around during the Mario Andretti years or the AJ Foyt or Rick Mears years or Al Unser, you got to see one of the best drivers in history. We were lucky to get to see Scott Dixon in the early 2000s and up to the last 20 years, but Alex Palou is just taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, if he stays in the series, I can't even imagine the records that he's going to break. But yeah, congratulations to them, to the DHL team, to Josef Newgarden and the Astemo team, which I think we talked about in an earlier episode, is part of Hitachi. It's a business unit of Hitachi. So, that was always a staple livery for Josef Newgarden and Team Penske. It's basically just a spin-off of that. So happy for the drivers and the teams. The fact that we had a great season. We got to witness history. The ratings are up, and the good thing is we got Fox on board this year, and then Fox realized what what we had and what they had, and then decided to invest in it. So, next year we got everything just laid out right in front of us. We don't have to worry about what network it's going to be on. We don't have to worry about, tuning into the right sub channel of NBC or CBS or ABC if it's on ESPN or ESPN 1, 2, 3, or 6, or the Speed Channel, whatever. I mean, it's on Fox. Next year, every race is going to be on Fox, or if there's something that happens, I trust the people at Fox, especially now that they have an interest in the series, to move the race to another channel so that we can at least see the ending or the beginning while there may be another event on. So, just happy with everything that's going on, happy with the direction the series is going, with the drivers that we have, the cars, One of the things I noticed about Formula One races, and a lot of the fans, I watch a lot of YouTube videos from Formula One fans, and they're not really happy with a lot of the technical changes that are coming along with Formula One. I mean, the engines don't make hardly any sound at all. I was at the last Formula One race in 2024 that was held at Circuit of the Americas, and when I left the stands to go get a drink or to go use the restroom or whatever, I couldn't tell if the cars were even racing. I mean, you can't hear them. Especially when there's a big crowd out there, which there was. You got to give them that. They know how to get people out to the races, but the cars don't make much of a sound, and that is really disturbing to a lot of the pure F1 fans, and I don't blame them. If you go back and look at some of those F1 races from the 70s and 80s, and you hear those cars and that loud whine, that they had, it's unbelievable, the sounds that you would get to hear if you went to an actual F1 race. Well, now, that's been taken away. Yeah, the cars are going fast, and they're cornering, and their maneuverability around the track is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. Watching that is worth it. But the fact that they don't make the sounds like they used to, and they have these hybrids on board that take away a lot of the natural aspiration of the piston engine, or the turbocharged piston engine. That's just something that a lot of the pure F1 fans are really missing. And we don't have to worry about that. Again, one of the great things about IndyCars, the cars still sound great. So, if you can get a fan to go to one of the races, which I encourage everyone to do. If you love the sport, invite some, people to go to the race with you next year, or come up with a little package, a little weekend getaway to Monterey, or up to the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, or even Nashville or Florida, or you could go to Dallas-Fort Worth next year and go to the inaugural race in Arlington, the Grand Prix of Arlington. Bring some people to a race and see how they get hooked. That's what we have to offer, is the experience of going to a race. And if we're not utilizing that, when you see an event like Iowa, and you see the fact that there's nobody in the stands, we just can't have that next year. Let's get people out to the races. Let's go to the races ourselves. Let's travel to the races. Let's enjoy what we have, and make it the best sport that it can be. So something I noticed this week that was kind of amusing was the fact that the CEO of F1 stated that he thought their races were too long. And I was like, too long? They're about the same length as the IndyCar races. And if you look at what I put up on the screen right now, you'll see that literally IndyCar races and F1 races are about the same length in general. And the fact that, many times I think our races are too short. It's just the fact that the fans that F1 have the fans that they've recruited over the last 5 years that have built the sport to where it is, and they have done a good job getting new fans. That's evident. It's the fact that a lot of these fans aren't real motorsports fans. They're not racing fans. They can't sit there and watch cars just go round and round on a track for hours upon end like I can. And like most race fans that either love NASCAR or Formula One or IMSA or any of the feeder series to the big racing series. That's what we love. We love watching racing, and so I want to get my new IndyCar fans from NASCAR fans. I want them from Formula One fans. I don't want them to stop watching NASCAR. I just want them to start watching IndyCar. And if there's a day that maybe a race competes with an F1 race is also on at maybe a little bit at the same time, or a NASCAR race crosses over into a time slot that there's an IndyCar race, that maybe, you know, you would choose to watch the IndyCar race because the race was better. You know, that's all we can ask for. But I want new IndyCar fans to be racing fans. I mean, it is great every once in a while to turn someone who's never even thought about liking motorsports into an IndyCar fan, but that's rare. I mean, it just doesn't happen all the time. You either get it or you don't. So I think it's really funny that a lot of the fans that Formula One have recruited, you know, just don't have the attention span to watch the entire 2-hour race. I mean, that just really seems like it's not very long to me, you know. I mean, I can watch a 4-hour NASCAR race and enjoy every minute of it, or a 2-hour Formula One race and also enjoy it. But I just think the product that IndyCar has is better on the track for the most part, consistently. Yeah, we don't have as many races as F1 and NASCAR, but you know, it's almost good because we can look to those fans and give them another option, because I'm sure there's many times where they run out of things to watch. They run out of interest in racing series and the weekend offerings that maybe NASCAR or Formula One has, and you give them another option. So basically that's what I'm looking to do, what we'll talk about in the next few weeks as we kind of ramp up for next year and look at things that all us fans can do to help grow the sport more. And you know, again, this channel is going to be more focused on not the individual race results per se, but the business around IndyCar racing and the sponsors. You know, one of the things I've really been trying to figure out is, you know, whose responsibility is it? The teams or IndyCar, or a little bit of both maybe? I would think that to bring in new sponsors and maintain the sponsors that a team has. You know, if you're a smaller team and you don't have the revenue as say one of the bigger teams does, the last thing you want is to lose one of your big sponsors. It just can't happen. So who's working that? I mean, who's working that with IndyCar so that maybe some of the smaller teams can give their sponsors a little bit more bang for the buck? Or maybe some of the bigger teams, you know, don't lose some of their intermediate sponsors, you know, which are important. Some of the, like Mission tortilla chips. You know, I love the McLaren cars and their colors, and you know, I think their marketing department has just done an unbelievable job in marketing their drivers and their brands and everything. And you know, Mission tortilla chips is one of those that's based right here in Texas. So anytime I go to the grocery store, I make sure that I get, you know, the best tortilla chips and bean dip and queso and stuff and tortillas in the world. So you know, that's what I'm looking to do, is just kind of bring the regular fan in with the sponsor and kind of collaborate and work together so that the sponsors, you know, get more out of it, the teams get more revenue to run more competitive cars. And if all that happens, then we're going to look up in a couple of years and our sport's going to be right there with any of the top motorsports in the world. So we're going to wrap things up for this week, and I want to appreciate everyone for staying with me as long as you have. There's a lot to talk about this off season, and we got plenty of time to do it. But one thing I didn't want to bring up is the fact that I have been trying to get some diecast of number 9 PNC Bank Honda Scott Dixon's Chip Ganassi racing car, the 164th version, which is similar, you know, in size to this Ed Carpenter Racing Splenda Christian Rasmussen car. And I went to the IndyCar website thinking, oh, well, of course, so they'll have some of Scott Dixon on there. And as you can see on the screen right now, there were 4 active drivers that had cars that you could buy that were this size. And that's it, 4. If you go to the NASCAR store or the Formula One store on their own website, there are hundreds of diecast options. Some of former drivers, former champions, current drivers, current champions, different sponsors, different liveries for different cars, different years. I mean, it's just unbelievable how limited we are in IndyCar for these diecasts. And I'm telling you, people love these things. I mean, of course, you know, I can talk about the fact that, yes, I like toy race cars. I mean, I'm sorry, I just do, but so does everybody else. And even if you don't really like them, you know, you can give them to someone and all of a sudden they're completely interested. It like sits on their desk, or in my daughter's case, it sits in her schoolroom and all her students ask about it. And then when they have, you know, events at school, people ask about it. It's just a conversation starter. You have to have these. And, you know, I understand they cost money, and if people aren't willing to buy them, then of course no manufacturer is going to want to make them. But I guarantee you, I can get people to buy them. We can get people to buy them, and we can have a better offering at the races next year if we start working on this now. We've got to have more options available. I mean, what if you were a Renus VK fan and you wanted one of his versions of Ask ROI car this year when he drove for Dale Coyne Racing? I mean, there should be one available of that. I mean, maybe there is, and the only way that I can find them is on eBay. But you know, I would think that the IndyCar website, or at least we could contract with a good company to have a lot more options available at you know, reasonable prices. Because I mean, the costs are significant, but they're about the same in Formula One, NASCAR, and IndyCar. I mean, you know, these things are so nice, and the detail is so awesome. I mean, you can see the individual sponsors, I mean, down to just millimeters on this thing. You know, this is what gets people interested in our sport, and we've got to do a better job at getting more die-casts. So hopefully whoever is working in IndyCar marketing that's been doing such a great job this year. Hey, another thing I got to mention too real quick is the social media influencers that were at the Nashville race. Great job by whoever was coordinating that with IndyCar marketing and getting some of those social media influencers out there to do a ride in the two-seater.
What's it like in the cockpit? What are you feeling?
Too fast for me. I go slow. I don't go anywhere this fast.
Covered one eye right there.
Holy moly.
And to, you know, be on you know, the pre-race festivities and being interviewed by the Fox broadcast team. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we need. So the marketing people at IndyCar are doing a great job. It's just this one thing with the diecast. We've got to get a better assortment of these, so that if you get a favorite driver, you can get some of these and you can give them to your friends, and you can, you know, promote the sport using little toy cars. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but people love these things, and you can ask any race car fan out there. And I mean, if you have a good collection of diecast cars, and say, you know, your favorite team, you know, on your desk, in your office, you know, in your room, wherever, your dorm room stuff. I mean, it gets people talking about it. So let's work on this. You know, let's say thank you to the IndyCar marketing team for doing such a great job and getting Fox on board and getting these social media influencers to look at IndyCar. But as far as these cars, we've got to do a better job with these, and so we will work on that in the coming weeks. But thank you again for watching. My name's Troy. I appreciate, you know, everyone tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week.